It's been a while.
The last time you were here was 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago.
Yes, 4 years ago.
What's changed since then?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Okay.
Too many.
Too many.
I'll never be more loved than I am right now. Wasn't holding you up, so there's nothing I could do to let you down. It doesn't take a trophy to make you proud. I'll never be more loved than I am right now.
Well, obviously we are pregnant. And yeah, you want to share the other news?
What's the other news?
With twins.
Initially, when we first got married, or before we got married, we discussed that okay, we would wait like 2 years to have a baby. But then I think 6 months into our marriage, 4 months, yeah, because it was in April. We got married, yeah, it was in April. We were like, okay, no, we want to start having a baby. I don't know if it was the pressure or everybody asking or expecting us to be pregnant by then, but so we've been basically trying to have a baby for the past 7 years.
Sure. Makumo, how did that feel? I know you're quite vocal about it now on Facebook that don't ask me when I'm having a baby. And this is now 8 years later.
Yeah.
So within that, what is the difference between that 4 months? How's your response at 4 months after getting married and your response recently or now?
Yeah. No, so like for me, it's never really been an issue, at least for me. But I actually do understand why it's an issue, if you get what I'm trying to say. That I really think it's questions that shouldn't be asked, and we need to culture ourselves towards that and understanding that. But it was never really an issue for me. It was one, because I don't think a lot of people in the main, a majority, say it from a space of intending to hurt. It's more around lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, and lack of appreciation of the impact of that. So it was never really an issue. Like for me, it was like, by the way, okay, we'll move.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for you, Brie?
Why not? Other
I think for me it hurt. I think maybe initially it didn't hurt because I was just like, okay, it's gonna happen, and you read up like, oh, it doesn't happen on the first day of trying, it's gonna take some time. But then when you keep hearing that like a year later, 2 years later, people are still asking you questions, it starts to hurt. And you know, yes, Makungu always says no, people do not intend to hurt you, but it doesn't change the fact of how it hits me when I hear it. You know, yeah, I've been hurt for 7 years. That's the thing, you get hurt, you forgive the people because yes, we talk about it, and I think that's what really has helped us, is that we would talk about. If anybody sends me a message saying, oh, try this, try that, out of the blue, you know, and I get upset and I tell Makungu, and then Makungu will be like, no, don't take it too personally. So we talk about it, and then and then I feel better, and then I forgive, and then move on.
Until the next
one.
I'll keep waiting for you. I'll keep praying for you. I'll keep waiting for you for the rest of my life. That's what I'll do. Thought you'd never fall.
We were very pro going to the doctor, checking out, doing whatever tests.
As a couple.
As a couple. So from the beginning, it was never, I'm going to check myself out. I think we've done all our gynae visits together from the beginning. Whether it was him going for a test or me going for a test, we were always together. So we'd never, well, I hope I never made you feel like you were the problem. But yeah, like, so I don't think we were blaming each other, but obviously everybody assumes I'm the problem. Yeah. Yeah.
Sex life, did that deteriorate? Because now,
In the beginning, it was fine. Actually, it was fine, you know? Until, you begin to realize that someone is more eager during that period.
Ovulation week.
And you're thinking, okay, we have to do this, you know? Like, I have to wash the dishes. I have to go do this. I have to go make babies now.
it really becomes that.
Yeah, it becomes that because you're counting. Of course, I think our sex life has never really been impacted per se, except it's not. I think
We've really had we have a really good sex life. Yes, we do.
It's never been impacted except
Yeah.
for those days when I felt like.
Yeah, but I think after you voiced your concerns, I did kind of.
Yeah, no, you did.
But I was like a vulture, And I think at the time he was working out of town, so when he comes back, I'm like waiting there. I'm like, we're doing this today, and then at that time he's tired. He's not really into it. So after he voiced it out, I tried. There was a time, and I think at some point I just stopped doing the tests, the ovulation tests as well, because they work on your mind. Like you constantly living from one test to another. Yeah.
Maybe it's because, like, I think we never really got to that space of thinking we're never going to have babies. Until we get to that point where we find the peace or the settlement that, it's never going to happen. We were just going to keep believing it's going to happen one day. It's going to happen. The next day, it's going to be the day. The next month, it's going to be the month. And we kept it like that.
Yeah.
So that's why we never got to a point of losing hope. We just kept the hope. And I think maybe it's also because we did it together.
Yeah.
I like she said, we never got to a point where it was me going at it alone or her going at it alone. We spoke about it. We at least always tried to express our feelings, fears, our highs and lows around it.
And I think he always made sure that he'd tell me that I didn't marry you for a child, to give me a child. I married you. At the time it just sounds like, oh gosh, you're just saying that. But when you think about it and you see his actions, that it's not about having a baby. He married me. He's happy with me. So I think that really helped. But that reassurance, because like I said, I'm always perceived as the one who's got the problem. So you think about it, it bothers you. So coming home to somebody who's going to tell you that, you know what, I didn't marry you for you to have children. And if we get to a point where we can't, we'll find other means, or we will adopt, until, as long as, like you said, as long as we're at peace with keeping on believing, then we do that.
You were somewhere and it was Mother's Day, and they made all the mothers stand up, and I believe you didn't, and your husband had a problem, and you voiced it out, and he said, this is not fair, this is not fair. So in moments like that, how does that exclusion feel like?
It's painful because, and especially sometimes when you see the level of exclusion is not necessarily because you don't have a child. It's also just, it feels personal. It feels personal, especially when it's in a safe environment, or an environment where you think it's safe, and where you've always been treated as a mom, even though you don't have a child. But then that particular day, you're not recognized. And I think I remember that day, like, and I think you brought the gift on a Saturday, and the Sunday was the Mother's Day. And
No, I got the gift the Monday.
oh, the Monday, yes. And it was just, yeah, like, for me, that spoke to, it was God. That moment, I was just like, God was recognizing me, because I had not told you about it. You just came and you brought it. And for me, it was amazing that you brought the exact same gift. So it was God acknowledging that you're a mom. You might not have the kids physically yet, but you are a mom. Yeah.
I'd always tell her that as far as I'm concerned, she's a mother.
So it's not just a Facebook thing, mother or my kids.
No, it's I mean, and it also, for me, it didn't start even when we got married. I mean, I've been in church somewhere before, and in every church or those kind of settings, these questions come to play when Mother's Day comes, to say who is a mother and all of that. And my belief, and I think it's the God's way of mothering. When a woman gets married, she is a mother. When a man gets married, he becomes a father. And I mean, if you look at how God perceived Abraham and Sarah, even before they had kids, that tells you God's recognition of them as mother and father, even before anything happens. When, and I mean, even in the beginning, when God talks to Adam and Eve, there is no babies, but there's a recognition of their parenthood. So it cannot be anywhere where a married man can be made to be less of a father simply because their seed has not come forth. And same as a woman. So I've always felt like that. It's never, like for me, it's never, and even for her, I would always say, look, you should not even wait to be, you are a mother. You should embrace it. Even
You
though
celebrated
it's difficult,
me.
Yeah, and I would make sure, I make sure that I mean, she always felt like I am sure that she's a mother. At least I tried, I hope.
Yes, no, you did.
Bree, you've attended, I'm sure, I'm counting your baby shower guests, I'm sure over 60 baby showers. Over 60 baby showers, and every single time you're either in the planning committee or you are a khadi mang mang or you're what. And I've witnessed you do it with all of your heart. What does that take?
So it's a bit of a journey. So when you first find out, it probably it hits you, because it's a reminder that somebody else that has gotten married after me is having a baby. But then after that, you deal with your emotions, and then you just like, okay, but I can't. Why am I angry with? I can't be angry with them. It's not their fault. So you celebrate them. So yeah, that's the journey. Like it hits you. You recognize that it's not, you deal with that it's not their fault. Yes, it's a reminder that, I still don't have what I'm longing for. But otherwise, then you just move on and plan the baby shower.
And I have to keep the news of pregnancies I hear about.
And shame. I think at some point people really felt scared, or they felt like they were going to hurt me by telling me that they're pregnant. The other day I was actually just listening to that song, where you just like feel like I've never felt so loved like I am right now. Like I am so happy. I just thank God for everybody. Like you are here because you've played a role. Thank you for everyone that prayed for me over the years. It was hard, but thank you, because sometimes it was just probably your prayers that got us through.
What has been the lowest moment of this entire journey?
It's the cycle. It was a cyclical thing where every month was a reminder. When her period came, it was a reminder that it did not happen. Look, for me, seeing her cry, like, I mean, almost every month when you see her cry, it just it broke my heart. And I think especially after, the procedures.
Yeah.
I think when it doesn't work, you're like, okay, So, I mean, what broke my heart was to have to leave the room because, I mean, I can't comfort her any more than what I have, and I just have to sit and wait for her to finish crying, and I'd be heartbroken. So that for me was always heavy.
Yeah, I think the the cycles were hard, like the procedures, because every single time you did a procedure, you kind of need to psych yourself up. You have to have faith. You pray. You do everything that the doctor says you must do, and then you go do the procedure, and you still continue the 2 week wait from, which is the worst wait ever, and then you just and then I think you would just feel it, like, and then you start having period pains, and then you just like, it's coming, and then it comes, and then you just like, oh God, not again, and then you just, because then you're angry at God. You're just like, why do we have to keep trying this, So I think the cycles were the lowest moments, because the procedures, because you put so much into it, and you have an expectation. I think by the time we started doing procedures, I think we were done doing our own calculating and doing it on our own. So you had better hope, because you've heard such good things, you've read, you've watched the videos, the stats look good, and the doctor says there's nothing wrong, so let's, so those were the lowest moments for this entire journey. It's taken us a year to decide that, okay, we are ready to go after four failed IUIs. Yeah. So we took a whole year to decide, and just to also allow my body to rest from all the hormones that I had been taking. So we prayed about it. We also just wanted to be on the same page. I think I remember you saying that no, because after the fourth failed one, the gynae said, oh, the next step is IVF, and I was like, okay, cool, let's go. But you were like, no, let's stop and just wait and relax, and that's what we did.
Yeah. Because it was very important that we didn't just go through the motions, and we needed to be clear, have the peace, and pray about it, and just understand whether is this our path or not. After the whole process, emotions, faith, God, and what we want, it gets mixed up and all. So we just needed to make sure that we went back to just a good position, if I can put it like that.
And I think to make a sober decision, because if we had made this decision last year, it wasn't going to be a sober decision. There was just too many emotions, because also we had been through the motions. We were disappointed, and I felt we were just under so much pressure as well. So I'm glad that we waited this long to make that decision, and because I think we're sober, very sober.
Take us through also, like for them, like how you felt with each of those failed IUIs.
Yeah, they were hard.
How we felt.
We felt they were very hard, because in the beginning, when you start, you very hopeful, and you do everything, like you eat right, you take your medication on time, and you do everything that you're supposed to do, and then comes after when you're supposed to get your period. You get your period, you know, and then you just go through the emotions. You feel depressed, you just hurt, you just want to cry the whole day. Yeah, so it was just hard. It was a lot. And also you're pumped with hormones, so you're also just emotional. Everything triggers you. And then you stop, and then you do maybe another one after 2 cycles. Start over again. You're hopeful, you know, do the right things, and it fails again, and then we took a break, and then we start again. So it was just going through the motions, you know. I think we did these 4 over maybe a year and a half. Yeah. So it wasn't like getting a failed one and then doing the next month. No, the doctor wanted us to rest, just get back to normal, and then do another one. So it was really, it was too much. It was a lot. Yeah. But I guess we're back to the injections. Yeah, there was just too many. There was injections.
Maybe show the medication.
And then obviously we've gotten like a set of syringes that come with 2 sets of needles.
So I missed this demo
because he decided to take a call when the nurse was explaining this whole procedure of mixing this.
Work call.
Oxalayo, you were not there.
Work call, because these things are costly.
True, very costly. So this one we're going to use to mix these, and then there's the smaller one which you could then use to inject yourself. So he needs to do all this work, which he missed the crash course for.
I'm only an assistant. You said so yourself.
Well, he's an assistant because, like, I can't watch you give me an injection. It's painful watching you. It's more painful watching you than me getting the injection, because you can see he's going through a lot. So I will let him do 1, 2, or 3. And then afterwards, I'm just like, you know what, I'll do it myself. You can watch.
And then we all experience the pain less.
No, it's not the same. But anyway, the doctor says he needs to inject me so that he feels that he is part of this process, not just at the end.
I opened the syringes for you.
Okay, if you think that counts, it counts. It's good. You're part of the process. Well done. Like, seriously. So today I'm at the doctor for my scan to see how the follicles are growing. So we're just gonna go in and just check, do the scan, and then the doctor will let me know if she wants to up the dosage or if she's happy with the growth, and hopefully we will know when we're doing the extraction.
How many pregnancy tests have you taken?
Yeah,
A lot.
a lot. Yeah, I think we stopped counting.
Yeah.
Because that thing never lied to me. It never even gave me false hope, false positives, you know what people talk about. No, like, it was just flat no, negative. So we took quite a lot. You don't just take one, right? You take one. So maybe if in that particular cycle, you'll probably take 3 or 4, because I now buy like the big box. So yeah, I know in the beginning we waited for the period. Like, if it doesn't come, because you're chatting there, you're like, so, but with the procedures, that's when we would test a lot, because you're not just buying. Yeah, we spend a lot of money on tests.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Did you guys get a diagnosis?
No,
No.
we didn't.
Yeah, the doctors found nothing.
Yeah. So it was unexplained. Well, was it unexplained infertility or something like that?
So everything looks absolutely normal.
Fine.
Everything's supposed to go according to plan. There's no explanation.
Yeah.
Babies are from God.
Yes.
I mean, the doctor said there's nothing. Medically speaking, they're the best people to actually even give us anything that we can try to explain. And I mean, we've seen, is it 2 or 3? Two.
Yeah.
And they all said there was nothing.
Except the one.
The less said, the better.
Yeah. Who told us to have sex in a certain position.
Yeah.
then we decided to move. So then we
Yeah.
went to a specialist. So yeah,
Yeah.
and she was like, "There's nothing." Yeah, and I think that's I think she's just been a great blessing because she's always been on this journey with us, and you could see that as much as we were bothered, she was just bothered the same. Like, it's not like she didn't care. It bothered her because even when you are not communicating, she'll send you a message, "Come, let's try again." Then you felt like you had somebody that's walking this journey with you as well. So yeah.
Brie, for you, what do you feel is the greater reason or purpose, or you think you're yet to discover that?
I think if there's anything in my life that I have learned is that God's timing is perfect. The waiting is not nice. I mean, I feel like I've always had to wait for things in my life. I had to wait to finish varsity. Had little bumps and humps there. I had to wait to get married. I've always had my own plans, but they've just never worked out the way I planned. So for me, at this point, I'm not really questioning or trying to find out what the greater purpose is. I just feel like it was God's time. God waited for us to be ready. He gave us Nuri and Zani to be our little training buddies. So now, like, we're ready. I think, everything has aligned, and you see it with everything that's happening around us. Since we fell pregnant, everything is just falling into place. So that's just confirmation that it's God's timing.
You go through IVF. I think on that part I kind of was with you on that journey. You have to now take your pregnancy test. How does that feel? Because I remember we had a conversation. You said it feels like the final resort.
Yeah.
Right? And now you've finally gone through it and you have to take that pregnancy test. What's happening?
Well, thank God it was a Sunday. So we actually went, after church, we went to the hospital because we needed to take blood tests. But then Makung was like, "No, let's get our own tests." Let's get our own tests. So we buy tests at the hospital. We couldn't get the digital ones, so we just buy the normal tests. And then we get home. And we bought lunch. So I've already prepped and he's already starting to eat. And then I go to the bathroom and I pee on that stick, ne?
Did it feel different? Like this is a different kind of pee?
I think for me, I had to channel myself or channel my mind that whatever happens, it's God. And especially because with the IVF journey, that's what we told ourselves from the beginning, that children are a gift from God. So if we do this and it doesn't work, it's okay. So I think I needed to just remember that because I needed to be okay whatever the outcome. So I peed on that stick and then I put it on the side. I have never seen it turn so quickly. I didn't have to wait 3 minutes and it was just bright red, both lines. I screamed and I called him and then he looked at it and then he didn't know what to say. Like, it was so weird. We're excited, but we don't know what to say. We're just like, okay. And then we're like, okay, pee on the next one. Because we had bought the box of 2. I pee on the next one. It's a bit lighter because now I really don't have pee anymore. But it's still 2 lines. And then we just get so excited and then we sit and we try to eat. We can't eat. Like, Okay, let's go get the digital one. We drove out, went to Clicks, came back, did the digital one, and it was just like also within seconds. Like it didn't take long. It just said 2 to 3 weeks pregnant. Oh, it was, yeah, sure. I think we just didn't know how to feel. We really didn't know how to feel.
I don't know, what was it? Did it feel like your own joy, or did it feel more like a joy for her? Did it feel like a joint joy, like we, or did it feel like, finally, my wife gets to...
Yeah. No, I think I was like happy for her, like honestly.
Yeah, he was speechless. Like, you could, like, I think we stopped eating. The food couldn't go down anymore because we were so. It was overwhelming because, like I said, that test never lied to me. So this time around, it was just I'll never forget that day. Yeah.
How much more does he love you? How much more does he love you? We call you Jireh, 'cause you are enough. Oh yeah, you are, yes you are. Jireh, you are enough. So I will be content in every.
How was the first moment holding your little babies?
I cried.
Are you getting another lump in your throat?
It was, I don't know, like, all I could say was just like, thank you, God. I literally, those are my words. It was, just surreal.
Daddy?
Yeah, it was really magical. It was really overwhelming.
Yeah.
More than I had imagined.
Yeah.
I was really speechless. I was motionless and emotionless.
And he gets
Yeah.
like literally emotionless where you don't know how he's feeling.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
was just
double trouble.
So, yeah.
You guys happy? Does it feel like how you imagined it would feel, or you kind of don't have like words for it?
You don't have words for it. Like, it's more like every single time you look at them, it's like, yo, these are mine. These are my humans.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. I can't explain the feeling.
What are their names? Can you explain their names?
He's steady.
So that's Ukosi, Dorisani, Joshua Nkuna. Simply put, is that we're gonna make known the sovereignty of God.
Wow. Second one is
Because He's our
Dwarisani.
salvation. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we're gonna make known the sovereignty of God because He is our salvation, and that's Kensani, Diniko, Elizabeth, and Kuna. So we thank God for His gifts, and He is our oath.
Oh. Welcome, babies. Yes.
Waiting for you. I'll keep praying.